Alright, what's up, Vengeance? Back with another video. Basically, today I'm gonna be talking about IQ and intelligence and can it be changed? My perspective on it, my experience with it, and how it affects people's life and people's day-to-day life. So I'll kind of start off by saying when people kind of first recognize or kind of think about intelligence or IQ in life, they kind of recognize at school. Like they'll see people who are smarter or better at certain academic things, would be better at maths, might be better at reading, or might be better at science. Like some people would just be naturally better, as if they just have a higher IQ or higher intelligence, and they just find it so easily. You know what I mean? It's as if if the average person was to try super hard, they'd only do as good as the super smart people would be doing on an average basis. You know what I mean? Like if someone really smart gave 50% effort, it's that's the same as some people's 100% effort in some ways. You know what I mean? That's how it feels sometimes, especially when it comes to certain subjects, maybe maths and science and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you kind of recognize it early on, and people they kind of sometimes group people into these kind of these groups, I guess. You know what I mean? They think, oh, this is the dumb guy, this is the smart guy, this guy's not very good at this and that, he's pretty unintelligent, this guy's really good at reading or English or maths or whatever, literature, whatever. Like maybe they're well spoken, maybe they just think of things on the spot quite easily and quite well, or whatever, you know what I mean? And they just kind of gravitate towards it. And some people, it's they don't really have that. Some people, they're pretty uninterested and not really good when it comes to school or academic stuff. I wasn't the best. I wasn't the worst of the worst, but I wasn't the best either. I was kind of mid or below average, I'd say. Objectively speaking, you know what I mean? But yeah, not the worst, but I think if I did try to be smarter in some ways, I could do better in life in some ways. But there is common debates on if you can increase your IQ or not. Is your IQ 100% set in stone, etc. Stuff like that. But I'll get into that in a bit. So what else I was gonna talk about? Basically, yeah. So some people, they seem pretty unintelligent, but over the course of a few years, they actually start to seem smarter and smarter, and they start to seem you might think a certain person is not as smart as you, but over a few years, you might see them start to mature and think, oh, this person's actually becoming almost as smart as you, or just a lot more intelligent and better at talking, or better at giving answers. You know what I mean? Giving more intelligent kind of takes, and having a more intelligent conversation with you, rather than just saying some random shit that maybe they just did before. But the couple things I heard on IQ and whether it's whether you can change it or not is I heard that you can change it. Basically, it's pretty much a summed up answer. The yes or no answer is yes. You can change it in some way. So some people say reading is a good way to increase your IQ because it does work your brain at quite a high cognitive rate and pace. You know what I mean? You do have to use your brain quite well for that, and it's some people compare reading for your brain exercise or exercises to your body. And the more you read, and if you read on a daily basis or weekly basis, you become better when it comes to just thinking and just coming up with ideas, and you just be smarter overall, people think. You know what I mean? Also, I think it can improve your English, and I think some words you haven't thought about, or you don't think about that often, or certain ways of talking you probably pick up from reading certain books. Like I used to kind of talk the way some people did in some books, or the way some authors wrote in some books I read before. Like when I read some of the James Bond books, I actually afterwards I started to kind of talk a bit how the narrator and stuff like that were talking in the book, basically, or the characters. And I don't really do that as much anymore because I haven't read that many books in a while. I don't read as much as I used to. But yeah, you'll probably pick up some English and you'll probably become more, um, you know, illiterate. Not illiterate. You'll probably become more literate. Like you'll be able to speak more. Uh, you have better English. You have better like grammar, maybe better way of talking, etc. You sound a bit less. It sound a bit more like higher class in some ways. If you talk too much like a rapper, like a mumble rapper, it might make you seem more unintelligent. Also, that's another thing I wanted to bring up is like sometimes the way people talk can make them seem smarter or dumber than they are. So someone actually might be really smart, but if they keep talking like a low class, like rapper from the hood or something, they might be perceived as like a low IQ, unintelligent, like just piece of shit, even though they're not, even though they're actually smarter than people think. And then the reverse is also kind of true. Like if you talk in a really like grammatically correct way and you like talk in a very like smart kind of way and you have good like English basically, people can think that you're a lot smarter than you are when you actually have like nothing behind that, if you know what I mean. And when actually you're not even nearly as smart as you think, as some people think. It's just you talk well and talk clearly and stuff like that. So that's another thing. But yeah, um, I think like oh yeah, some other like guy on YouTube actually, he was like making a video, and apparently he was a part of a high IQ community, and he said some things like oh, like asking questions, like asking like intelligent questions about a certain subject or whatever can help with your intelligence or increase your IQ, just doing things like that. Like I think it's just about like thinking a more kind of like critical kind of way, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. Like kind of try to actively be smart. You don't have to try super hard, but try a bit. There's probably some pills out there that can help, but yeah, I mean this is a bit of a rabbit hole, but like I'm just trying to make a general like summary of it. But yeah, I think if you kind of try to pursue it, you might actually become better at it. So yeah, probably just like read on a frequent basis, try to think more critically, try to ask more questions, and try to like put focus on like commitment and effort into like what you're trying to do and what you want to become better at. You know what I mean? Like, don't give up. You know what I mean? Because you might have more potential than you think. You know what I mean? And some people think that like, oh, they might be able to like attach a chip to your brain in the future to like make you smarter, and you'll be like a cyborg and you'll be able to collect more data, which might be true, but I'm not up for anything like that. I'm not into anything like that. That's a bit too extreme. I mean, could probably work, but fuck that. Honestly, that's just too on unnatural. Basically, another thing I was also thinking about is like, do you like higher IQ people? Do the smarter people sometimes enjoy life less, and do like people who are less intelligent sometimes actually enjoy life more? Because sometimes super intelligent people, they only look at life in like a kind of like in like a nerdy way, in a like super intellectual way. You know what I mean? They can't just enjoy life sometimes. They can't just enjoy what they're doing because they're always thinking about things in like a intellectual way. But people who are a bit like, kind of not as smart or just like average IQ, they just live life. They just do what they want. They enjoy the simple things in life. They enjoy coffee. They enjoy, you know, some biscuits or whatever. They enjoy taking the dog for a walk. They're able to enjoy like normal things in life. They don't overthink as much. I feel like smart people, they have a lot of like, they have a huge flood of like information going to their brain. Sometimes like in and out every day, but average kind of IQ people, they don't have that as much. They can enjoy the simple, basic things in life more. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of everything that I've been thinking about recently when it comes to intelligence. You know what I mean? Like just like school and like how people's parents complain when people do shit when their kids do shit at school, and does that really matter and all this stuff. Like I had a problem with that before, and I kind of just thought it was just my intelligence, which it could be, definitely part of it, but not all of it. And another thing is also fluoride. So fluoride is something that like is often found in toothpaste and water, and people think it blocks your pineal gland and it lowers your IQ. But if you have fluoride in toothpaste, it actually protects your teeth more. So it's like either gonna have really fucked up teeth and be smarter, or like be slightly less intelligent but have like really really good teeth. But yeah, fluoride is a bit of a controversial thing. But I would say in water it's not as good, but in toothpaste it is quite handy to have, to be honest. Like, yeah, water can be bad for you. It can make you not as smart, but sorry, not water. Sorry, fluoride. When fluoride cannot be as good for you sometimes and make you like dumber in some ways, but when it comes to like toothpaste, like you definitely need it, in my opinion. But when it comes to water, it's like you don't really need it as much, and yeah, it can probably make you a bit more dumber, like or less smart in some ways. You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much mostly what I wanted to say. But yeah, I mean, like for most of my kind of teenagehood and childhood, like my parents complained about my grades at school, or like how shit I was doing, or didn't care about maths and all that stuff. And I kind of felt like there's not much I could do to change it, and I felt like I always tried as hard as I could. I just couldn't get any better. And also, whenever I did like stuff like that, I always had like the fear of missing out for some reason whenever I tried to like get good at these things. But yeah, I mean, in life you just gotta stick to what you're naturally drawn to, what you're naturally good at, what you are good at. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a super genius, you don't have to be a super buff big guy either. You can be in the middle. You know, you can be a jack of all trades. You can be good at some things but not the best. Like good at a lot of things but not the best at everything. Not the best at anything, you know what I mean? But yeah. Live your life, guys. Vengeance signing out.